A peaceful little town, cradled by endless green fields and timeless, serene houses, bathed in soft morning sunlight. Life moved gently here, in a rhythm untouched by hurry, where the sun warmed every roof and every path. Daniel, a kind-hearted man with a gentle smile, was known by everyone. If someone's bicycle chain broke, Daniel was the first to appear, hands ready, offering help without hesitation. Daniel carried heavy boxes for neighbors, his strength supporting those too weary to lift them themselves. The town relied on him, and he never let anyone down, moving with a calm determination. When loneliness struck, Daniel sat beside those in need, offering words and company. His gentle presence comforted those who felt forgotten, a silent reassurance of kindness. Yet, Daniel's own house bore the marks of neglect. The garden remained half-tended, weeds creeping through untended flowers. Windows had small cracks, and the roof leaked in places. He poured his energy into others, leaving his own life in quiet disrepair. Each evening, Daniel returned home exhausted, his clothes dirtied and damp. He trudged up the path to his small house, weary but content, thinking of the lives he had helped that day. His mother, watching him from the doorway, placed a warm towel on his shoulders and asked softly, "Daniel, my dear boy, you help everyone, but who helps you?" He gave his usual small smile, whispering, "It's all right, Mom. One day, they will remember." One evening, a storm approached. Dark clouds rolled across the sky, winds began to whistle through the streets, and rain threatened to pour. The townspeople rushed to protect their belongings, scrambling to secure gardens and homes. Daniel, however, ran not to save his own things, but to help his friend Oliver, whose tools and equipment lay exposed to the storm. Together, they worked tirelessly, covering everything, bracing against the pouring rain. By the time the storm passed, Daniel returned to his own garden, soaked and exhausted. His furniture was ruined, plants battered, and the muddy garden reflected the neglect he had long ignored. He sat on the front steps, rain dripping from his face, feeling the weight of his efforts for others and the emptiness it left him. His mother placed a warm towel on his shoulders, whispering, "Daniel, today you saved everyone else's things, but not your own." The next morning, Daniel walked to Mr. Harris's small cottage by the river. The sun shone gently, the river reflected its light, and the countryside felt peaceful. Daniel sought guidance, carrying the weight of exhaustion and confusion. Sitting beside the wise Mr. Harris, Daniel poured out his heart, explaining how kindness felt like it was breaking him. Mr. Harris listened quietly, the slow-moving river beside them reflecting serenity and wisdom. "Look at this river," Mr. Harris said. "It nourishes the land, the trees, the birds, the animals. But when it overflows, when it forgets its path, what happens?" Daniel paused and said, "It floods. It destroys everything." "Exactly," said Mr. Harris. "Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction." "You are kind, Daniel, but you lack limits. You run for everyone, but never for yourself." Sometimes, saying no is the truest form of self-care. For 7 days, Daniel, do not say yes immediately. When someone asks for help, pause. Ask yourself, will this harm me? Will it cost my time, my peace, my energy? If yes, then respond. Not today. Observe what happens. The next morning, Daniel's heart was tested. Oliver rushed to him, desperate for help moving a heavy box. Daniel looked at his broken fence, longing to help, but remembered Mr. Harris's words and gently said, "Not today. I must fix my own fence. Oliver's eyes widened in shock. Daniel stayed calm and focused. By the end of the day, the fence stood repaired. For the first time in years, Daniel felt pride and contentment in tending to his own life. In the following days, neighbors came for small favors. Daniel politely declined, explaining his focus on his own work. Peace and serenity replaced exhaustion, a quiet joy filling his heart. On the fourth day, heavy rain returned. Daniel's roof began to leak. He waited, but no one came. He picked up his tools and repaired the roof himself. When finished, he sat beneath the fixed roof, whispering, "So this is what it feels like to rely on oneself." Days turned into weeks, and Daniel transformed. He no longer rushed to every call, nor sacrificed his sleep and peace. He tended to his garden, cleaned his home, and invested in his own well-being. The town shifted subtly. People began to respect boundaries. Oliver learned to solve his own problems. Neighbors stopped relying solely on Daniel. Life was still friendly, but Daniel was no longer a tool. They saw him as a man who valued himself. His home flourished, the garden bloomed, and Daniel's face shone with vitality. Laughter returned, unburdened and joyful. He had become a man who cherished himself while remaining kind. One afternoon, Mr. Harris visited, observing the neat garden and healthy plants. "Did the world fall apart when you stopped saying yes to everyone?" he asked. Daniel smiled warmly. "No, sir. My world finally began to come together. When you stop saying yes to everyone, you finally say yes to yourself. And that is when life begins to change," Mr. Harris said gently. "So, my friend, are you like Daniel? Do you give endlessly, even when it hurts?" Saying no is not selfish, it is strength. It is choosing peace over pressure, self-respect over exhaustion. Your mind, your heart, your time, they are precious. Protect them. Only when you honor yourself will the world honor you. Reflect today, pause, and start tending to your own garden of life. Take courage, set boundaries, and witness transformation. Life does not punish you for saying no. It rewards you with balance, clarity, and the peace you deserve. Your journey begins now.